Donald Trump's peace plan to end the war in Ukraine may include a demand to refuse to join NATO for 20 years and freeze the front line without returning territories, the Wall Street Journal writes, citing information from informed sources. The newspaper writes that sources say Trump has not yet approved a specific plan, including how he will persuade Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to sit down at the negotiating table. Although advisors have offered their ideas, the final decision will be made by Trump alone, they said. For example, one idea proposed to Trump, detailed by 3 people close to the president-elect, is that Kyiv promises not to join NATO for at least 20 years. In exchange, the US will continue to supply Ukraine with weapons to deter a future Russian attack. The plan would also freeze the front lines, and both sides would agree to a demilitarized zone. It is unclear who would control the area, but one advisor said the peacekeeping force would not include US troops. We can provide training and other support, but the barrel of the gun is going to be European. We are not sending American men and women to keep the peace in Ukraine, and we are not going to pay for it. Let the Poles, the Germans, the British, and the French do that, one of Trump's team members said. Earlier this year, Keith Kellogg and Fred Fleeds, who served in Trump's first White House, presented Trump with an action plan that would see him withhold arms from Ukraine until Kyiv agreed to peace talks with Russia. Ukraine could try to regain its lost territory, but it would have to do so through diplomatic negotiations. Which of these strategies Trump will pursue is unclear, but any attempt to initiate peace talks between Ukraine and Russia, let alone conclude an agreement, will face many obstacles, the Wall Street Journal notes. First, Ukraine and Russia continue to pursue very different military goals and are not seeking to change them. The Kremlin shows little desire to negotiate and is ready to escalate the conflict. In addition, there will be strong resistance from some NATO allies who view Russia's aggression against Ukraine as an immediate threat to their countries. Meanwhile, Volodymyr Zelensky, whose country is heavily dependent on the United States for military and financial aid, may be easier to persuade to negotiate. The Wall Street Journal notes, but he will have to face a public that will view the cession of territory as a capitulation to Moscow.